his friend is the one who introduced him to meet them, asking the money, almost 2 million peso. He is coming out from BGMP, Paranaque. After that, his friend is introduced him because he wanted looking for the room. He just come out from BGMP, but suddenly when he going up to that room, suddenly he being kidnapped na.
Data encoder po. It's like online dating or online gaming po for Indonesian client. As I know, in Cambodia is not safe. Kasi alam ko talaga yung area ng Cambodia, hindi yan.
Arestado sa magkahiwalay na operasyon ng 4 na Chinese nationals na sangkot umano sa mga pagdukot. Sa Pasay, mahigit 34 ang illegal umano na idinitain at kinunan pa ng passport sa kanilang among Chinese. Sa Paranaque naman, hindi lang dinukot kundi tinorture pa umano ng 2 sospek ang kanilang kapwa Chinese. Sa isang panayam, idinitalye ng isang Chinese national ang malawak umano na koneksyon ng kanyang among Chinese rin sa di umano'y kilalang personalidad, makapangyarihan at kontrobersyal na politiko na nasa pwesto pa umano ng gobyerno na labis namang ikinagulat ng marami. Narito ang buong detalye. Ngunit bago tayo magpatuloy, huwag kalimutang i-like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell for more updates and for more upcoming videos. Maraming salamat! Tila ginawang pugad na umano ng mga dayuhan ng mahal nating Pilipinas dahil sa mga naglipanan na umano na mga ilegal na aktibidad na malaya nilang ginagawa dito sa bansa. Karamihan pa sa kanila ay pawang mga Chinese nationals na pumasok sa bansa kahit na walang kaukulang dokumento at malaya pa umanong nakapaghahasik ng lagim dito sa bansa. Ang masaklap, nagpapagamit rin ng ilang kapwa nating Pilipino para sa kanilang pangsariling interes at ang nakakakilabot pa, kapwa Pilipino ang pangunahing dahilan kung bakit mapa sa hanggang ngayon talamak pa rin ang ganitong sistema na nagsimula at nagugat pa umano sa nakaraang administrasyon na tumatanggap umano ng limpak-limpak na suhol. Tila naisahan na naman ang Pilipinas dahil kahit diniklara na ni Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. ang total ban sa Pogo, ay patuloy pa rin umano itong nag-ooperate dito sa bansa sa tulong na rin umano ng isang kilalang personalidad, makapangyarihan at kontrobersyal na politiko na nasa pwesto pa umano ng gobyerno at malapit rin daw sa gobyerno ng China. Ito ay base na rin sa report at sa isang panibagong confidential informant na nagpadala ng video ito sa mga tauhan ng Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission o PAOK. Kinidnap at tinorture umano ng 2 Chinese national ang lalaki sa video na isa ring Chinese. Makalipas ang ilang saglit, natunto ng mga otoridad ang biktima na dinala sa isang mamahaling condo unit sa Paranaque City.
Nakuha namin yung information na nandito siya sa 1902. Then, nung kinatok na namin, positibo, nandito yung biktima at sinabi niya na nagtatago yung 2 suspect doon sa mga kwarto.
Tagtad ng pasa at bali sa katawan ng nirescuing Chinese, nahuli naman ang isa pang suspect na siyang pinaniniwala ang may hawak ng baril sa video. Sa kuhang ito, pwersahan ng binuksan ng mga tauhan ng PAOK ang kwartong ito kung saan nagtatago ang isa pang suspect at nahuli rin naman ng mga otoridad. Dito sa kwartong ito sinasabing tinorture ng mga suspect ang Chinese national na biktima. Kabilang sa mga na-recover ng PAOK ang ilang kagamitan tulad nitong mga panaksak at pamalo. Sabi ng PAOK, hindi pa malinaw kung ano ang tunay na dahilan kung bakit kinidnap at tinorture ang biktima. Pero may mga posibilidad daw na sangkot sa illegal na pogo ang mga suspect at miyembro din ng isang malaking grupo.
Talamak na kasi yung kidnapan dito sa area ng Southern Metro Manila ng mga Chinese nationals. Kung naman ang kadahilanan, minsan pinapatubos, minsan may mga pagkakautang.
Sa madilim na bahaging ito naman ng isang gusali sa Pasay City, naabutan ng mga tauhan ng PAOK ang ilang Indonesian. Rescue operation umano ito para sa mga Indonesian national na empleyado ng Pogo at tumanoy illegal na idinitain ng kanilang among Chinese national. Sa pilitan daw kinuha ang kanilang mga passport para hindi sila makabalik sa kanilang bansa. Sa kabuuan, umabot sa 34 na Indonesian ang nasagip sa operasyon habang ang 2 Chinese ay naaresto. Ang isa sa kanila ay pinaniniwala ang dating miyembro ng People's Revelation Army at tumatay yung boss ng mga nasagip na dayuhan. Sa patuloy kasi na pagdinig at pag-iimbestiga ng House Squad Committee, Pedea Wilkins Villanueva, idinitalye ang pag-raid sa isang pugad ng mga Chinese At hindi lamang ito pugad dahil dito umano ginagawa ang mga iligal na droga. Idinitalye ni Villanueva ang kanila umanong naabutan sa laboratory. Aniya, lulungpa umano sa ipinagbabawal na gamot ang 6 na nahuli sa operasyon. Buo naman ang loob ni Congressman Abante na i-reopen ang investigasyon sa AG case sa bansa. Napagalaman kasi na halos 7,000 ang di umano'y nasawi sa pamumuno ni former President Rodrigo Duterte. Napagalaman rin at natugpi-tugpi na ng mga kongresista ang malaking kaugnayan at parte ng dating administrasyon sa mga umano'y naarestong mga Chinese nationals na gumagawa ng kalokohan dito sa bansa. Kaya isa umano ito sa pangunahing dahilan kung bakit napagkasunduan ng mga kongresistang bumubuo sa impeachment prosecution panel na ipasabpina ang bank record ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Kabilang kasi sa 7 articles of impeachment laban sa bise ang pagkakaroon umano ng unexplained wealth at hindi pagdideklara ng lahat ng kanyang yaman sa Statement of Asset, Liabilities sa Net Worth o SALN. Ayon pa kay House Assistant Majority Leader Pam Zamora, kung tutuusin, malakas na rin umano ang kaso kahit wala ang bank record, pero kung makukuha raw ang financial records ni VP Sara, maituturing aniya itong icing on the cake dahil ito ay malakas na ebidensya.
Then I would strongly suggest that these victims should be reinvestigated so that the proper charges in court should be filed. Mr. Chair. Mayor General, would you please answer?
Yes, Your Honor. It's a matter of the inventory of cases, and I believe it will be coinciding with the cases of the Internal Affairs Service.
Attorney Conti, may tanong lang ako, Mr. Chair, tanong lang ako, Attorney Conti, considering yung mga present situation before, during the time nung last administration, and kanina sinabi ni NBI Director that nahirapan silang i-pursue yung mga cases because of a lot of different factors. Like, yung mga evidences, medyo wala na, 2 years or 3 years ago pa. And at the same time, yung consideration of the families, would you agree with me na ang one of the factors why the families are not cooperating during that time because of the policy of the government?
Yes, Your Honor. And the continuing security threats to themselves. Kasi yung police na nag-operate o pumatay, doon pa rin naka-assign. At probably sila rin ang mag-iimbestiga. So,
And that's the reason why kaya yung resulta natin sa pagpa-file ng case, yung iba nadi-dismiss dahil nga po sa takot ng pamilya because of the existing environment, no? Moving forward, no? Now that we have realized that in accordance with the suggestion of Congressman Chairman Abante na to reopen the investigation of all these cases, and having considered the manifestation of the NBI Director with regards to sa mga evidences, do you think we will be having a hard time to pursue all of this investigation, and if we will be having a hard time moving forward as a lawyer, ano po yung pwede nating gawin?
Your Honor, first off, it would take a big deal to recover or restore the trust of these people, of these victims, in the investigation and justice system in the Philippines. Pasensya na po, pero parang nabasag lahat yun nung nakaraang panahon. And lalo na, the killings continue. DAHAS, the organization which monitors killings, have noted some 300 killings last year as well. And we think it could be related to continuing practice, kung nakasanayan na po ng mga pulis. Kung wala mang policy na sasabihin or walang sinasabi, parang patuloy pa rin talaga yung kalakaran. Ang pwede po siguro, if this committee or this government wants to investigate everything, as a rule, continue with the investigation. If some of the victims would prefer not to be reinvestigated, then allow them that leeway. So as a rule, lahat po iimbestigahan ulit, ilalabas lahat ng ebidensya, and just allow the victims to opt out.
Yeah. Paano lalabas yung ebidensya kung halimbawa wala na nga po yung ebidensya?
Sa totoo po, actually, ito yung tanungan namin eh. Kung yung biktima po yung tatanungin, wala po sa amin din yung ebidensya. Nasa PNP po. Kaya,
Like for example, ito nga. I
Yes,
think,
Your Honor.
I just think about this, no? Because of the environment of the last administration, those evidences na, well, I hope that they can really deliver all those weapons, no? Na nakuha sa crime scene, but I really doubt kung meron talaga. But kung wala, moving forward, we cannot investigate anymore. So, ano in-expect sa atin na dapat nating gawin kung wala na tayong makukuha ganong klaseng ebidensya and we cannot re-investigate anymore? And considering that we're talking about 7,000 as manifested by the PNP during the investigation sa Committee on Human Rights, inamin nila naman na almost 7,000 yung naging namatay sa drug on war. So ngayon, war on drugs. So ngayon, ang tanong, kakaunti lang yung katulad ni Miss Marisa Hamoy. Out of the 7,000, ilan lamang po yung naging successful na napakulong po natin yung perpetrator? Ilan lamang po sa mga hawak ninyo? Si Attorney Conti and then si Mr. Joel Sarmenta.
Your Honor, we reviewed 200 cases. Only 6 we could file in court. Only 1 we secured a conviction for.
Isa lang naging successful.
Out of total 200.
And with Joel Sarmenta, so si Miss Hamoy lang.
Based on me, hindi po. Filed and filed, but nothing happens. Diba? In fact,
So wala pang I thought yung perpetrator na nakakulong na right now. Hindi din po.
In
So
fact,
in other words, sa 7,000, isa lang ang nakulong. Isa lang?
Your Honor, from my count, there should be at least 8 police officers detained. 8 from 3 cases. Kian, Carl, and the Bonifacio case.
Bonifacio.
Convictions of police officers.
So halos
for
lahat yung
extrajudicial
pinahal,
killings.
dismiss.
Yes, Your Honor,
So
unfortunately.
out of the 7,000, ilan yung na-dismiss?
If at all, kung may na-file. Actually, at one count in 2018, Your Honor, we were talking among ourselves, yung mga lawyers po. A handful of cases lang ang na-file namin between NUPL, FLAG, Ideals, some law groups, and even NBI and PAO. Binilang na po namin, ang bilang namin, 18 to 20 cases ang nakasampa na parang offensive, counter-offensive, kaso patungkol dun sa pagpatay. Yung iba pong kasong tinutukoy, kunyari, kaso na kinaso dun sa pinatay
Okay.
or nakasurvive.
Do you really, sige Mr. Joel Sarmenta.
Sorry, sir. Chair, and I'd like to note, yung Bonifacio case is only this 2024, mid-2024. So it's very recent. There's also the phenomenon of the Bertes case where the guilty policeman is now incarcerated for a different shooting. And in fact, the RTC of Pasay still has to be really pushed to reopen that case and really start prosecuting him.
I hope you guys know na hindi tayo mawala ng pag-asa, no. The reason why I'm trying to tell this is because of the reality. Na katulad na sinabi ni NBI director na talagang pag wala na ebidensya, it's hard to reinvestigate. And having said that, 2025 na po ngayon. And ang sinasabi po ni NBI director, years back pa. And the more na magiging much more impossible to recover all those evidences. But mahirap naman pong bitawan na yung mga pamilya ng biktima. So we have to hang on and try to move forward and try to somehow yung reinvestigation, the best effort that we can do. Siguro, Mr. Chairman, medyo nasadin ako ngayon. Hindi na sana ako magtatanong. Pero parang naisip ko, out of the 7,000, ilan ba talagang naging successful? So ngayon, parang lumalabas na isa o dalawa lamang talagang nakakalungkot na yan. Talagang medyo this government, the present government, must do something to give justice to those families sa biktima. Yun lamang po, Mr. Chairman, at halinawa ay magkaroon talaga ng resolve ang ating pong national government, no?
Mr.
Especially
Chair.
DOJ
Chairman.
and the Office of the President.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair. I give way to Congressman
sige.
Paduano, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Congressman Paduano, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Salamat po. At least nakinig naman. Medyo nakinig din na pinagbigyan tayo ng pagkakataon na magsalita. Jen, before you recognize Chairman, General Salvador, Mr. Chairman, ganito lang po. I've heard about this statement coming from Mr. Sermenta. Sir, you mentioned about the representation of our country through the former DOJ Secretary on the International Human Rights Conference during the time. Being represented by
Human Rights. If
Oh,
I'm
UN
mistaken,
Human Rights.
in Geneva.
in Geneva, which was represented by the then DOJ Secretary Guevara, di ba? Medyo makalimutin na kasi itong si Chairman Abante siguro. But as far as I remember, in the first hearing of EJK, in his Committee on Human Rights, it was mentioned by then DOJ Secretary Guevara about that conference, and he mentioned also that upon arrival, during the time, he submitted a confidential report with regards to it, no, to the Office of the President through ES, Executive Secretary. Now, as far as I remember during the time when I asked him about the document, confidential document, I directly asked him if the committee or the Congress can ask the Executive Department to give us a copy of that confidential. Now, sabi niya, of course, the Office of the President through the ES will invoke executive privilege, etc., etc. But sabi ko nga sa kanya, what if? Kasi that report and those incidents in that report happens in the previous administration, and if the Office of the President through the ES will waive its right with regard to executive privilege, pwede po. Sabi niya, pwede. Kaya, Mr. Chairman, pwedeng balikan natin yung Quadcom. We once again, well, in fact, I move for it during that hearing that to the chair that we will write a letter to the Office of the President, to the ES, for us to give us the copy about that confidential report. Kasi mahalaga po yun. That's number one, Mr. Chairman. Kaya kailangan lang siguro natin pag-usapan ulit para makakuha tayo ng comprehensive confidential report with regards to EJK that was also delivered by, some portion of it was delivered also by then DOJ Secretary Guevara dun sa UN, United Nations Human Rights Conference at in Geneva. Now, second, Mr. Chairman, the case that was mentioned by the civil society groups, the Rise Up, well, in fact, it was also confirmed by the PNP that there are around 6,000 to 7,000 cases of nanlaban. And most of it, as confirmed by Director Labin, the NBI, karamihan po, wala. Now, ngayon, sabi nga kanina ni Chairman Abante, what can the PNP do about it? The NBI can do about it. I think, Mr. Chairman, they are not Superman. Hindi po sila Superman. Kasi 6,000 cases, hindi kaya po yun. To review, to investigate, to review. Yes, sabi natin 7,000. Kahit sabi ko nga kanina kay Chairman Barbers, kahit 2,000 o 3,000 na lang. Abutin lang po to be honest and candid about it. Abutin lang po ng next at patapos yung administrasyon na ito, hindi po ito matatapos. Sa totoo lang po. Because we also don't want, PNP is involved in this. Nanlaban. Then you give the PNP the responsibility to review it. Wala. Sigurado yon, diba? At same time, we will also do not want the organization of the PNP will focus on this. Marami pa po silang trabaho. Now, ganon din pong NBI. Pag binigay mo to yung 7,000 sa NBI, wala. Especially the statement coming from the Attorney Lavin na out of the 52, 13 only because some relatives of the victims are not anymore interested. They are not cooperating. Walang evidence, etc. etc. Walang mangyari. Kahit anong motion natin dito, every hearing, i-move natin, walang mangyari dito. Now, kaya nag-usap kami kanina ni Chairman Marbers, if the committee or my co-chairs, and of course, the lead chair, Chairman Barbers, will join me, siguro dun sa committee report or partial committee report na ilalabas natin, we will ask the executive department to create na super body or a commission to concentrate and investigate para yung mga agencies natin hindi magka-problema sa trabaho nila. Siguro may representative kami from the PNP doon sa commission na yon, pero dapat ito this will result for a very fair, honest, and truthful result. Doon po sa sinasabi nating mga 7,000 cases of nanlaban. Para at least magiging yung question of result, possible result of this, kaysa bawat hearing natin, kukesyonin natin yung police, kukesyonin natin ang ganito, tapos magbubub tayo, invite si ganito, wala rin. Di ba? I suggest, Mr. Chairman, and to the members of this committee that, siguro, pwede itong gumawa ng partial committee report with regards to EJK once again, and we will recommend to create such super body, whatever you call it, commission or whatever, to concentrate in these cases, for review and reinvestigation of all these cases. Yun po. Dalawa po. Again, once again, question of the confidential report that was submitted by then DOJ Secretary Guevara to the Office of the President, if he can get a copy of that, and a part of the partial committee report for the EJK to recommend to the executive department to create such body that I mentioned, whatever it is. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I would believe that in this administration, we have a different Philippine National Police. Am I right, Major General Salvador?
Yes, Your Honor.
And therefore, if we have a different Philippine National Police, I'd like to really strongly suggest that another motu proprio investigation should be conducted, and reopened with about 7,640 that died in police operations during the time of the former administration. Tulad po ng sinabi ni Congressman Dan Fernandez kanina, huwag kayo mawala ng pag-asa. Attorney Conti, Mrs. Sarmenta, at Ma'am Fortune, lahat po kayo, na ipagpapatuloy po namin ito. In fact, election year po ngayon Kaya napakahirap po sa amin, We are being attacked left and right, and we are in the middle of the campaign. Pero nakita po namin yung pangangailangan na dapat talaga po nating ituloy ito. I also would like to agree with Congressman Paduano that a super body should be formed and created, para patuloy ang investigasyong ito kahit na po mag-end ang 19th Congress. Well, we would like also to recognize Reverend Noel I believe that he also has something to say. So we would like to recognize him now for him to say his own statements of what AJK right now.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Bilang kinatawan ng mga nanay ng biktima ng EJK, we would like to suggest a truth commission to continue the investigation. Kasi we see the impunity will logically continue with the killings. This truth commission, we suggest, is to continue investigating in view of the prosecution of the mastermind and the perpetrators. We should be selective. And another suggestion is, we suggest that there would be a compensation bill to compensate the victims na walang po ng breadwinner ang mga nanay. Thousands of them. But until now, they are suffering injustice. Nobody helped them. The policemen who were killed, there were system of reward. Pero yung mga biktima, walang tulong. That's why we would like to request, if there would be, if it is contemplated that there would be a compensation bill na bigyan ng scholarship yung mga anak ng victims or kabuhayan or dissenting bahay para matulungan sila. And then, finally, security. Hanggang ngayon may mga threats pa rin ng mga victims. Yun lang po.
Maraming salamat po, Reverend Noel. No? Maganda po yung sinabi ninyo. In fact, nung iniimbestigahan po itong sinimulan natin sa Committee on Human Rights, ay napag-usapan na po yung Truth Commission. Ngayon po ito'y inulit ni Congressman Paduano na magkaroon tayo ng super body to actually investigate on this. At ito iniisip na namin, at hayaan nyo, Reverend Noel, pag-uusapan po namin ito ng Quadcom tungkol po sa Truth Commission sapagkat nais po nating ipagpatuloy itong investigasyon na ito sa EJK kahit na po matapos ang kongresong ito. Sapagkat June 30 po, bago ng kongreso, 20th Congress na. Oo. At nais ko sana kahit na po bago ang may bago ng kongreso na kaming dalawa na lang po ni Congressman ako ang may iwan, may pagpapatuloy po namin itong Quadcom na ito. Pero between that, siguro po before we actually complete our investigation, that we now would like to really create a truth commission on this or a super body that would continue to investigate. Ano? So, do we have any other witness here or source speaker that have not spoken yet? And we would like him to also speak and give us their view on the matter. Or do we have any more? Yes. So we have Congressman Adjong.
Yes, because you have been speaking for so long.
Yeah,
So, the chair would like to...
I was acting as the chairman.
Okay.
I had my
Because
name listed as
you
one
have
of the
been seeking the phone for too long.
Mr. Chair, I had my name listed earlier as one of the interpellators, but I give way to Congresswoman Franz Castro, our incoming senator. By the way, Mr. Chair, hindi lang po si Chairman Benny Abante at saka si Chairman Manong Romy ang may iwan dito. May iwan tayong lahat dito. I give way first.
Kung mananalo.
Kung mananalo, hopefully. So I give way first to Congresswoman Franz Castro.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Congresswoman Franz Castro, you recognize.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair, no, doon sa forward-looking na pwedeng magawa natin doon sa mga biktima, pamilya ng mga biktima, yung mga immediate na pwedeng maitulong, kagaya na nabanggit na ni Father Noel, no, yung livelihood, scholarship sa mga anak, at saka yung iba pang mga pwedeng maitulong po ng ating Kongreso. So, Mr. Chair, ang question ko kasi for the second round na, no, yung tungkol doon sa tinanong ko kanina kay Dr. Fortune, etong mga ebidensya like yung mga bullet, no, yung slacks ng mga bullet, tiniturn over sa NBI. Tama po ba yun, Director Lavin?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Your Honors. If there is a court order, if there are incidents pending before the courts, and the court would order the turnover of the evidence to the NBI, then the NBI would be glad to safekeep those pieces of evidence.
Okay. And Mr. Chair, kasi regular man or not regular yung nangyaring operations, pero dahil may namatay, Mr. Chair, so dapat lahat maimbestigahan at tama ba na makuha yung mga pieces of evidence po?
Mr. Chair, Your Honors, to answer that, that is an ideal situation, Your Honor.
Oo, kasi Mr. Chair, parang hindi ko matanggap na may namatay dahil regular operation 'yan ay walang pananagutan yung ating mga pulis na nakapatay, no? At hindi pagpatay agad yung pwedeng dapat na gawin, no? Like yung i-disable mo 'yan, no, para maimbestigahan at maano. But anyway, Mr. Chair, ang tanong ko kasi yung tungkol doon sa Bloody Sunday massacre. No, yung Bloody Sunday massacre. So, Mr. Chair, familiar ba ang NBI dito sa mga kaso na ito?
I'm
Director
not,
Lavin.
I do not have the records.
Yes.
Thank you.
So dahil wala rin naman talaga dito yung DOJ, tama po ba, Mr. Chair? Wala tayong DOJ, no? But anyway, next meeting, iimbitahan natin sila. So, kaugnay po noong Bloody Sunday Massacre, Mr. Chair, may we invite po yung AO35 Special Investigation Team ng Nasugbu, Batangas, kaugnay po dito. Kasi pinag-uusapan natin yung EJK, hindi lang naman po drugs, no, related, kundi yung activist related po. So, Mr. Chair, pwede po ba natin maimbitahan yung Special Investigation Team by AO35 Nasugbu, Batangas, si DCP Dulce Ricafort Fuller ng DOJ. I move, Mr. Chair, no, para mas formal, to invite the Special Investigation Team, AO35 ng Nasugbu, Batangas, under the Department of Justice, si DCP Dulce M. Ricafort Fuller, Attorney Julio Cahigan Jr., NBI po ito. Tapos si Wilfredo Umaming, Investigation Agent, Riv Marlo Arturo Gotisan, Investigation Agent, Roger Siblangan Jr., Investigation Agent, and Sulikha Marie Conales, Investigation Agent, at Prosecution Attorney Jumila May Fugaban, Mr. Chair. May I move to invite?
I'm sure the committee secretary has taken note of the names of those personalities that Congresswoman Castro would like to invite for the next Quadcom hearing. So, COMSEC, please make sure that they will be given invitations. Thank you, Congresswoman Castro.
Mr. Chair, related din po doon sa tanong ko lang po kung na-imbestigahan din po, na-invite na-invite po yung minotion po ni Representative Arlene Brosas po na dapat na imbitahan ng mga pulis.
In the last
Yes.
the last committee hearing of the
Last
Quad.
committee hearing, Mr. Chair.
Yes, I'm sure we've taken note of those names. We've sent out, I think the COMSEC did not send the invitation for today's committee hearing,
Okay,
but maybe
next.
in the next.
Okay. So in the next committee hearing, yan, naimbitahan naman na po si Guillermo Ilyasar, si Lito Patay, Felipe Natividad, Warren Delim, si Jacinto Malinaw, Armelina Manalo. Ito po yung mga ground commander supervisor po, no. At saka yung ibinigay, marami po ito, bibigay na lang natin, Mr.
Yes.
Chair, sa ano. Kasi nasabi naman na to ni Congressman Erwin.
Meron na pong invitation niya, mga list of those names requested by Congresswoman Brosa. So, siguro sa susunod nating pagdinig ay iimbitahin na po natin sila.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. So, are there any other members who wish to... yes, Congressman Adyong.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Akala ko nakalimutan na yung chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll be very, very quick. I'd like to ask, because I forgot to ask Colonel Grijaldo regarding the Special Investigation Task Force. Was there a final result of the investigation?
The submission of the resolution of the
Yes.
SITG was already submitted to the CIDG, Your Honor.
So may nahuli na ba, na-identify na ba yung mga assailant, yung nakita sa CCTV? Were they
Your Honor,
apprehended?
I
Or
have
was there
no,
any case filed against a particular person?
I have no personal knowledge as to the resolution being done by the SITG, Your Honor.
That's unusual because you're part of the Special Investigation Task Force, hindi ba? Would you know?
Your Honor, I was already relieved from my position as the Chief of Police of Mandaluyong before it was resolved, Your Honor.
Yeah, because Mr. Chair, if I can recall last hearing, there was no individual that was charged in relation to the murder case of General Barayuga. That's so unfortunate because the government invested so much. They even created a special investigative task force to really unearth what caused and what are the culprits and what are the reason behind this murder. And yet so ironic because walang nakasuhan. Yun lang po. That's just my manifestation, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I'd like invite to the attention of General Wilkins Villanueva. Sir, magandang gabi po, sir. I'd like to take off from the line of questioning of Congressman Keith Flores earlier. I know these questions have been asked and then in the earlier previous hearings that we had, and I believe you have also, in fairness to you, you have also responded quite extensively on some areas concerns by the committee. Just like to zero in on the issue of the Dumoy raid. Vis-a-vis, there's also another raid that happened, hindi ho ba? Apart from the Dumoy raid, there's also another area which a raid was also conducted, and there was also the issue on the Arlene apartment, no? So, Mr. Chair, if I may understand it correctly, these are three separate occasions and events, but interlocking altogether. Tama ho ba, General Wilkins?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, thank you very much. Earlier, you said, and the portion of that you have already answered the question of Congressman Kit, but there seems to be, for me, sa akin lang po, in my own understanding, I'd just like to tighten some loose ends, no? Tighten up some loose ends. So, yes, you have already confirmed that there was the Dumloy raid in 2024, that this is a product of a 3-month surveillance. And apart from that, there was also a separate raid, no, in other location within Davao City. Ano po ba yung location na to, Mr. Chairman, General Wilkins?
There was a warehouse, chemical warehouse in Agdao.
Agdao, tama, Agdao. Agdao. So there's the Dumloy, and there's the Agdao, and there's the
Bunawan.
Bunawan.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Akala ko ba, so tatlong raid po ito nangyari?
Tatlo, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So, iba pa ho yung Arlene Apartments.
Yung
no?
Arlene apartment, Mr. Chair, is not a raid. It's a
Yes.
visit.
Okay. Okay. So, gusto ko lang pong this was also, the raid was conducted by the same joint operation. Tama po ba?
No, Mr. Chair, on different days, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, but the same
operation.
team, same operation, same
Yes,
teams
Mr.
involved. Okay. So when you say joint operation, same team, you were talking about your unit, which you represent in this case sa PIDEA po, no?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And then with the assistance, of course, of the PNP, local PNP.
Yes,
Tama po
Mr.
ba?
Chair.
And what other agencies?
EDSOT, Mr. Chair.
EDSOT.
EDSOT.
I'm not-
And yung
Yes.
PACER, Mr. Chair, yung police, PACER, police emergency response, Your Honor. Ito yung na pumalit sa PAOK TF, Your Honor.
Can you be so kind enough, General Wilkins, as to spell out to us the acronym of EDSOT? Kasi I'm not
PACER,
good at...
Papa Alpha, Charlie Echo,
No, I mean,
Romeo.
what does it stand for?
Police Anti-Crime and Emergency Response, Mr. Chair.
But this is still under, a unit ba ito under PNP or PDEA?
Unit yan, sir, that was created to replace the PAOK TF,
Okay,
Mr. Chair.
thank you. So, who heads among these three agencies? What are the coordination in terms of the one on top of everything, no? Monitoring, handling, the surveillance, doing all the directives. Which among these agencies would you say that you'll be your?
It was me, Mr. Chair.
Sino po?
I had the overall.
Yes. So meaning to say, in terms of the principle of command and responsibility, as well as concept of command and responsibility that applies to you po in this particular surveillance, in this particular raid. Tama po ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, kanina po ang sagot niyo po kay Congressman Keith Flores, General, was that you already submitted a surveillance report. Tama po ba?
No, Mr. Chair. We submitted the after operation report of the Dumoy laboratory, the conduct of the clandestine laboratory operation at Dumoy. We also submitted a spot report on the raid, on the implementation of search warrant on the warehouse, chemical warehouse at Agdao, Davao City, and also submitted after operation report on the implementation of warrant dun sa Bunawan, Davao City, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so
Everything was submitted to the National Office of the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency.
Okay. So, kanina po, and in early previous hearings, you mentioned that you have already invested so much on the surveillance, no? Doon po sa Dumoy, no, before you conducted the raid. In fact, those personalities that you've mentioned, Joe Chua, Alan C., you have actually followed these individuals as part of your monitoring surveillance, no? Would you say that the same degree of surveillance was also been made on the three separate locations that you had conducted the raid? Halimbawa, ang Agdao ba yun, sir?
In Agdao, Mr. Chair, kita namin kasi, doon lang sila kumukuha ng mga crates, wooden boxes, papunta doon sa Dumoy Laboratory, Mr. Chair. So, walang tao doon sa Agdao. Doon sa Bunawan, Mr. Chair, is doon naglalagay yung si Alex Kim and si Jong Pilapil naman, Mr. Chair, is one of those in charge dun sa nakikita parate dun sa Bunawan Polytex Foam Factory, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So, yung sa surveillance po, how do you prepare the surveillance report? Is it you who signed the surveillance report or including those other agencies that were involved in the operation?
Every end of the day, Mr. Chair, I collect all the reports. And then, delegate again kung ano yung next na duty nung incoming teams. Ina-analyze kasi namin yan, Mr. Chair, every day. Kung pwedeng tigilan na yung ibang personalities dahil every day, Mr. Chair, dumadami na dumadami yung person of interest. So, every day or twice a week, i-eliminate kami ng persons of interest so that makatutok talaga kami dun sa talagang nagmamanage or operators ng clandestine laboratory, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So to whom did you submit the surveillance report again?
Sa akin sila nagsasubmit. However, it was covered by the case operation plan. I submit progress report sa National Office, Mr. Chair, as far as the case operation plan is concerned.
So if, for example, Mr. Chair, we request that surveillance report that you have prepared, would you think that it will be available for this committee to...
Everything was submitted sa National Office, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Which actually prompted the surveillance? What is it, your decision, Mr. Chair, or was it part of the overall decision of all of the STRI agencies involved in the operation?
Come again,
Was it-
Mr. Chair. I didn't.
Yes, thank you. What prompted the surveillance? Is it because you have already a lead that prompted your office to conduct a monitoring and surveillance, including all of these other two agencies?
Mr. Chair, it started October 26, October 26 of 2004, when an information coming from the Intelligence and Investigations Division Service from the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency informed me that there is an impending arrival of a Chinese chemist to Davao City on that particular flight. The information came from our counterpart from the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration. So on that day, we immediately prepared surveillance team to follow yung sinasabi nilang Chinese chemist na padating sa Davao. And it started from there. Hanggang sa dumating sila doon sa Arlene apartment. Doon tumuloy yung dalawang Chinese chemist, according sa information, doon tumuloy, habang sinusundan namin, tumuloy sila sa Arlene apartment, Mr. Chair. So we started the surveillance operation there.
Okay. So just to, in order for this committee to be more appreciative of the timeline, this happened months before the Dumoy raid, or
Months before.
3
months before the Rumoy raid, Mr. Chair.
Okay,
Because
so-
it started October 26, 2004.
So the chemist that you were referring to, was it Alansi?
No, Mr. Chair.
Sino po yun? Would
Hindi
you know?
namin kilala, Mr. Chair. Walang pangalan, Mr. Chair. Basta, nasunda namin, papunta sa Arlene apartment, and from there, we started the whole coverage of surveillance. Unfortunately, Mr. Chair, wala siya during that time na nang-raid kami, Mr. Chair. Wala yung dalawa doon, Mr. Chair.
But you mentioned in the previous hearings, Mr. Chair, General, that you already had a lead doon po sa case ni itong certain Alan C. That you have monitored and survey, yung may karoon po kayo ng surveillance. In fact, dinikitan nyo po for past 3 months, no?
Yes, Mr.
Tama.
Chair.
Okay. So, this was, before the arrival of these two Chinese nationals who allegedly are chemists and may involved in drug manufacturing, meron na po kayong lead with Alan C.
Wala pa, Mr. Chair.
So, doon po nag-lead yung tong two chemist lead
Doon
that led
nag-start.
you
Doon nag-start ang investigation, Mr. Chair.
with Alan C.
Doon sa Arlene apartment,
Okay.
kung saan tumuloy yung mga Chinese, Mr. Chair.
So, I'd just like to go down to details, no? Pardon me, General Wilkins, kasi gusto ko lang pong, sabi ko nga, maintindihan, may mga medyo gray area pa ako na hindi masyadong magets. And don't hesitate to correct my data, ha?
Yes, Mr.
General,
Chair.
Mr. Chair. Again, during the raid in Dumoy, 6 Chinese nationals were killed, tama po ba, according to you, no?
6 nationals.
6 Chinese nationals.
Mr. Chair.
Just to refresh the memory, no? ng mga members dito. Ano po yung manner ng kanilang pagpatay when you entered the premises? Were armed? Were they in what manner by which the agents at that time had decided to directly fire at these 6 nationals, which resulted to the death of these individuals?
Mr. Chair, we divided our team do sa first floor, second floor, at yung perimeter. Pagpasok namin, Mr. Chair, kita agad namin lulong yung mga in-check na naandun, sir. Lulong sa droga. Kumbaga, talaga nagwawala yung mga, may baril sila. So, doon nagkaputukan, Mr. Chair. Doon sa conduct of clandestine laboratory operation, Mr. Chair, as much as possible, ayaw namin pumutok doon. Kasi, any spark, may hydrogenator kasi doon sa clandestine laboratory, Mr. Chair. And any
It
spark...
might explode the entire facility.
Yes,
Halimbawa.
explode yung entire facility. That's why ang instruction ko, kasi yun yung training namin, coming from the trained kami ng United States Drug Enforcement Administration. So wag kayong walang puputok doon hangga't maaari. So yun ang instruction. Pagpasok pa lang namin, Mr. Chair, nagwawala na yung mga in-check na naandun. Pumuputok.
Okay. So sinabi niyo po may mga baril sila, which again, let me go back to the surveillance report. Nandun po sa surveillance report na sinahit po niyo kung anong klaseng baril ang mga natagpuan niyo po na dala-dala or nasa side ng mga Chinese nationals, which actually made you decide to engage in firefight against, with this allegedly mga drug. Hindi allegedly kasi sabi mo nagdodroga sila, no? Ano pong klaseng mga baril ang hawak nila?
Mr. Chair, during the surveillance operation, wala kami nakikitang baril. Kasi
No, I'm sorry. During the raid.
spot report.
Yes, spot report. Okay.
Spot report, I cannot remember fully. Basta may nakita kami, may ginamit silang 45 pistol, 1911. May ginamit silang 9mm pistol, 9mm pistol. Hindi ito Mr. Chair, tunay na ito, hindi paltik. Basta I believe parang may 4 na baril na nakuha doon, Mr. Chair. At yung dalawa, Mr. Chair, is unarmed during that time. But I'd like to say na yung isa doon, Mr. Chair, is nakuha natin doon sa pinakadulo, pinakasulok, nagtatago, doon nakipag-agawa ng baril sa member ng AIDSOT, Mr. Chair. Kaya nakipagbarilan din yung AIDSOT at pinatay din yung isang in-check na unang aagaw ng baril doon, Mr.
So
Chair.
all of this information were available or were
Doon sa spot report,
sa
Mr.
SPART.
Chair.
Would you know, Mr. Chair, kung saan niyo po na-submit itong SPART sa national?
We submitted that to the PDEA National Office. Doon sa National Office, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to ask PDEA. PDEA, can you confirm whether there is a spot report that were submitted to your office involving the raid at Dumao? Dumao, no?
Dumoy.
Sorry. Sir. Dumoy raid.
Yes, Mr.
In detail, including all of the circumstance by which these Chinese nationals were killed, including all those arms that were also collected within the area, PDEA?
Yes, Mr. Chair, but the spot report, sir, is limited in details.
What do you mean limited in details?
There's a narration of the facts, only the daytime and the place of the incident, and the operating unit. But the weapons recovered, only one, sir, caliber 45.
Can you speak louder po? Sorry po, sir. Medyo mas matanda ho ang tainga ko sa iyo.
Only one pistol recovered, sir, that is caliber 45.
Yeah.
Based on the spot report.
General Wilkes, you mentioned about a certain arms, but according to ASEC Gumban, this is only one.
We don't know, Mr. Chair. Soko na ang Mr. Chair, nag-investigate. Immediately, pumasok na ang Soko doon, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
But we saw firearms there, Mr. Chair.
But did
May
you...
picture yun, Mr. Chair.
Okay. But did you also include that in your SPART report?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Pidea, I just want to clarify something because this is part of the loose ends that I want to tighten up. Was there any spot report? Was there, narinig niyo naman po si General Wilkins, that firearms were photographed, they were also collected, and they were submitted to you attached with the spot report?
Usually, sir, the spot report is just the spot report.
Do you have it right now with you?
We have the spot report, sir.
Okay, can you please read to us the salient features or salient portions of that spot report?
Yes, sir. Operation details, date and time, December 31, 2004, 12 o'clock a.m. or that is midnight. Place of arrest, MacArthur Highway, Dumoy, Davao City, Davao del Sur. Operation type, search warrant. Issued by Honorable Judge, no name.
Can you go directly to the ones that I would like to solicit information from General Wilkins? How many firearms were there reported in the spot report?
Weapons recovered. Firearms, ammunition, magazine, quantity of ammunition, 0, magazine, 0. Description, pistol, caliber 45, no serial number.
Who signed that spot report, Asek Gumban? Who prepared that?
This is unsigned, sir, but this is the spot report that we have recovered. That is 20 years ago, sir.
I know, but do you have a signature there? That
None, sir.
None. General Wilkins, is it part of the spot report supposedly that you signed the report?
Yes, Mr. Chair. May mga pictures pang kasama doon sa spot report namin, Mr. Chair.
yes, okay.
And indicating doon yung mga baril na nakuha, Mr. Chair. Kung saan nakuha yung baril, kung nasaan yung tao, naandun lang, may complete picture yun sa Mr. Chair.
So I don't know if we are referencing to the same document because apparently Asek Gumban is reading on the paper, on the document that he's with him now, right now, and there's no signature. There's only one mention of a pistol, and we're talking about 6 Chinese nationals who were killed on the spot. And they were, according to General Wilkins, they were quite... How many pistols would you recall?
Parang 4 yun, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, but it does not go with the spot report that they
Mr.
have.
Chair.
Yes, please.
Kasi yung binigay ko sa National Office is the complete spot report. Yung pinapakita nila, Mr. Chair, is coming from the database na, sir. Wala namang narrative doon. Kung in-encode nila yon, hindi kompleto, hindi tama yung pagkakakuha nila doon sa spot report. Kasi, Mr. Chair, yung spot report na pinadala namin, kompleto yun with picture.
Okay. Maybe, Mr. Chair, kasi medyo late na rin po, just request, Mr. Chair, that if there's an available spot report, apart from what you're holding right now, Asik Gumban, maybe you can also locate this spot report and then show the committee, or whether that's the only spot report that you have as in relation to Dumoy raid.
Except for the spot report, sir, we have also the logbook. And in the logbook, there was no mention of recovered pistol or recovered firearms.
Do you have the logbook right now? Maybe, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir, we have submitted it last year to the committee.
Okay. Maybe, Mr. Chair, next hearing, I'd like to delve more into this because this is a very widely publicized raid. No less than then the mayor of Davao City, President Duterte, was present after the raid. That's how important the Dumoy raid is. It was widely publicized and reported in major local circulation. So I'm just wondering why there seems to be two versions on the same story and same incident that happened. General Wilkins, the reason why I ask you to do not hesitate to correct my records because I'm basing my questions on the documents that we are in possession. So right now, I'm looking at the details on how the Chinese were killed and the manner by which they were killed and why they were killed and how many pistols were there sequestered or collected. According to you, kasi kayo po yung head nung operation na yun, and I also believe that you have prepared this spot report, no? How come PIDEA now cannot provide us with the spot report as you described it, when in fact, according to you, you have submitted all of these documents to the PIDEA National?
Mr. Chair, I suggest, Mr. Chair, we can also ask the SOCO of Region 11, Philippine National Police SOCO. Kasi sila yung nag-conduct ng after scene of the crime operation. But definitely, Mr. Chair, kasi part of the spot report, may 2 police na tinamaan dun, sir, Mr. Chair, on different places, on different area.
Okay.
So, imposible na nakikipagbarilan ng police tapos isa lang baril ang nakuha.
Okay. I think, Mr. Chair, no, with all due respect and in fairness to you, General Wilkins, kung ako po tatanungin mo, in your professional life, this would be one of your crowning moments because you were able to stop the local manufacturing of drugs. That's the reason why I'm very confused, because this is something that you should be proud of. Tapos yung basic na part actually of a protocol of a procedure of a raid that has been already been successfully conducted is yung report in black and white comprehensively at i-report sa national headquarters, in this case ang PIDEA. I am just trying to let me finish my my manifestation, and then later on I'll give you the time to respond. Bakit sa ngayon when I'm asking the spot report mukhang 2 version at hindi magkatugma? Ang sagot niyo po, explanation, and with the document that the PIDEA is now in possession. So yes, General Wilkins.
Mr. Chair, yung spot report na ibinigay namin, kompleto yon, Mr. Chair. Actually, I have a copy of that spot report before. But nasira lahat yon, Mr. Chair, nung nagkabro ng bagyong Ondoy. Actually, may kopya pa ako sa laptop ko noon during that time. Nakurap lahat yon, Mr. Chair. The only thing that I had during that time, na kumpleto from start of the case operation plan hanggang sa first progress report, hanggang sa fourth progress report, hanggang sa spot report na ipinadala namin sa PIDEA.
Okay.
Usually, sir, sa PIDEA, talagang operation center ang tumatanggap niyan. At pag kinulit ng operation center, itatype yan dun sa NDIS, yung National Drug Information System. Hindi natin alam somewhere along the line bakit hindi na ipasok yung baril. But, Mr. Chair, pinagpiestahan ito ng police. Pinagpiestahan ito ng AIDSOT. Ang daming na-promote sa kanila, Mr. Chair, because of that spot report. Nagumawa rin si Colonel Asierto. And doon sa spot report ni Colonel Asierto, meron din silang baril na in-report doon, Mr. Chair. It's not only one, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, I don't argue on that, and I believe that meron nga spot report. It's just that hindi ko nga mahanap. That's why I'm asking for it. And apparently, Asek Gumban, tama po ba na yan po yung spot report, no? Anyway, this is something that up to now, I'm being confused because sabi ko nga, masyadong importante itong Dumoy raid. Kasi kung from the perspective of law enforcement, successful ito na you were able to not only stop the proliferation of the manufacturing of local illegal drugs, but you were also identified those involved in the local manufacturing of the illegal drugs. It's just so happened that